So welcome to the long way old. This is going to be a blog of Maria and myself's travels over 3 months. The reason we're doing this is we've had enough. Have any of you ever had enough? We just want to have a bit of adventure. We've been through the COVID and the years that follow in business, which has been very hard. We're in a situation, I dare say many others are as well, where we've just said enough's enough. We're in our late 60s, I suppose you need to say. I'm about to be 67, Maria's about to be 65. We just want to do something different with our life, and we've got the opportunity to do it. So we just decided, look, we've had 5 years of this, it's been pretty damn tough. If you have in COVID a situation where you're just looking after the vast majority, the minorities are obviously affected, and there are many minorities. We were affected. We said, right, Keanu, take over what we can save of the business, and which he's delighted to do, and we're off on an adventure. And hopefully that's an adventure that you'll all love as well. So the characters, there's myself, obviously a great character. And there is Maria. And here we are, we're sitting in Lebon. It's lovely weather, fantastic. And here's Keanu, he's the foil because he's not old. He's my son, he's 28. And he's not going to be with us all the time because guess what? Somebody's got to do the work and look after the business back home. And so that's what the blog's about. It's about adventures.
So just a bit about the motorcycle. As I say, it was a Harley Davidson Road King Classic, year 2000, 25-year-old, and it started its life as a 1485cc twin cam model, but from new apparently it was upgraded, so it's now 1565. It's stage 2, and it's got a cam that gives the power at the top end, and that's quite important because modern day roads, you want to be able to be travelling between 70 and 90 on motorways. Obviously I'm talking kilometres, two up, and it can do that very comfortably. And
so love the old style mats. This comes from the Harley Davidson 2000. We have no plans. We're leaving Edinburgh, down to London, getting a new rear tyre fitted, and then we're off to France. First of all, we have provisional plans for about the first week, so we're heading to Epinary, which is the head of Champagne, down to Sallat-le-Canard, down to Bayonne, and then we're meeting Keanu off the ferry from Portsmouth to Santander, and I'm doing, and Keanu are doing part of our 4-season Ironburg Challenge, which is 1,000 miles in 24 hours, winter solstice, March equinox, summer solstice, which we're about to do, and then the September equinox. So we've done the first two. This is the summer solstice, and where we're going is, and this will be a separate episode, from Beaune, Bilbao, Barcelona, Montpellier, back to Beaune. That's 1,000 miles. We're going to do that in 24 hours. So apart from that, we just don't know where we're heading. We may head right the way across. We've got 3 months.
So we're almost there, but we're low in petrol. Maria, what do you think about my ability to work out whether we've got enough petrol?
I think you're a fucking idiot. I told you
Don't hold back.
Petrol when we stopped for something to eat. I said it's like a toilet, take advantage of it. This is the second time on this one journey that you've nearly ran out of petrol.
Well, just keen to get there, to get there. And I need to get Aunt out of the car with me because Harley does seem to vary a bit.
Have to actually get petrol and top up, and don't get past the petrol station without topping up.
Well, there you go. It's a bit difficult to argue against that. And what do you think of my ability at driving a motorcycle?
I think you hold the wrong line, actually. I think that you should go right up the middle.
Okay, and it's probably correct. And what about, have I occasionally almost gone onto the wrong side since we left Calais?
Twice.
Twice? And what's your reaction been?
Physical abuse.
Physical abuse, yes, that's right. So sometimes, I've thought about it and corrected myself. However, that's not to stop Maria hitting me for the next 5 minutes on the helmet, just to remind me how stupid I was. So that's excellent. So is there any redeeming features on my motorcycle driving?
No.
None at all. There you go, that's it. Driving since I was 17, no redeeming features. So Maria, what did you think when the back tyre blew out in the north of France?
I was really surprised actually, because it sounds as if it was going to be a lot more dramatic than it was. I wasn't really aware of anything bad having happened. I felt as if, the back tyre just went away from us a bit, and I was really astonished at just how well you handled it, to be honest.
See, there's a compliment.
The only one.
And what was the weather like? It wasn't warm like this, was it?
It was freezing cold, and I knew fine that there was no knight in shining armour coming from the French assistance.
So we had taken the 5-star European cover. Now, to be fair to AA, all they do is they arrange it through the French system. Yeah, I'm still learning about this, folks. So you're, and the problem is, don't rely on it. It's good to have, but Maria, what was it like at the side of the road?
Bikers stopping to help us, trying their best, and really, one guy in particular, a Harley rider who had this magnificent badge with "My bike is my psychiatrist." He really spent a lot of time and did everything he could. Unfortunately, we needed roadside assistance.
Yeah, I actually carry one of these battery inflators. There was a brand new tyre. There was nothing wrong with the tyre, and we hadn't ridden it for any length of time. We can't. The great thing for me is I've driven since I was 17. I've never had a blowout. But a blowout on the rear tyre is something you can handle. We weren't going particularly fast, but even if we had been going faster, I think you could handle it, because the front tyre is still gripping that road. I'm delighted that, because it's an old 25-year-old Harley, it doesn't have linked brakes, so you don't obviously use the rear brake, but you would have no choice in the new ones. You just get off the side of the road. But there we were, just outside a tiny wee village, kind of working village, nothing pretty about it, didn't have a hotel or anything. We're at the side of the road, and then Maria was the first person to phone the AA. I was trying to see if I could do anything about it. I wasn't sure that this is how little I knew. I didn't know that the Road King had a tube, so I was looking for some sort of hole, and then of course I found that the valve was wobbling around, and it was pretty clear that it hadn't been fitted correctly, and that was the problem, that it obviously cut what turned out to be the tube. So anyway, I was doing that, and Maria phoned the AA. Now, what was your experience?
Terrible. Liars. Told us that it hadn't been MOT'd since 2017. Then we got someone else who said that we hadn't paid for it. Absolutely shocking service from the AA. To
be fair to the AA, what had happened was that they had the wrong number, the last number in the number plate. They decided it was a 7, not a 1. Might have been my handwriting, although I'm pretty sure it was typed. And unfortunately as well, there seems to be another motorcycle that fitted this bill. I cannot believe it was another Road King Classic FLHD, whatever is Harley, has all these numbers on it. And the simple question would have been, could you just give me your number plate? But no, they were just wanted to get rid of us. So first of all, you've got no MOT. Of course, I've got an MOT since 2017. That was nonsense, and Maria, as you can imagine, told them it was nonsense. She came off thinking maybe we don't have an MOT. I then phoned them and I said, look, I've got the receipt here, and it was about £310. Thank goodness I paid it, although The and from the invoice, lo and behold, they worked out that yes, we had an MOT and yes, we had insurance. So first hurdle overcome, and I suppose this is what a trip like this teaches you. You know, everything's uncertain when something goes wrong, and you've just got to keep going. So then they told us, okay, I said, look, you know, I had my pump, I tried to put in air. It was clearly a bad cut, and they said they'd be there in an hour and a half. So then an hour and a half went by. Phoned them up. Oh well, actually no, it's usually about 4 hours.
They told us it was a bank holiday in France. It was a Tuesday, and we believed them because, much like the BBC, you don't expect the AA to lie to you. And then when we got into the hotel at night, I asked the manager if it was a French bank holiday, and he looked at me as if I was mad.
Yeah. So I'm trying to be nice, but the truth is, nobody wants to deliver you bad news. I think that's what it is. So now we're rolling down at 2 o'clock. 4 hours has gone past. No sign of anything. Maria's cold. Wasn't that warm myself? So we got a hotel for Maria first of all, and we phoned a taxi driver, and she turned up, and she couldn't speak a word of English. We can't speak French, but she was incredibly helpful and took Maria off to the closest hotel, which was about 10 kilometres away. I stayed there, still thinking somebody would turn up, phoned them back, and they said, oh yes, there'll definitely be somebody will come, you just have to wait. But by this time now, I think it's about 8:30, and I wasn't waiting. Keanu, when I phoned him, said, they're not coming. And again, I phoned the same woman, taxi driver, turned up, and I was just going to leave the motorcycle at the side of the road, and she was not for that. I'd actually walked in and had found a garage, which was only about a quarter of a mile away in the village, who just said, well, they can't touch Harley Davidson. So I'd come back from that, and she phoned them and said, come and pick it up off the road. I had to phone the AA to get permission for that, because what I was concerned with is that once it goes to the garage, they can just leave it there forever. But I got permission to take it there, and they would come and arrange it to go to a garage. And it became very clear that they could not get a garage to repair this. They were really struggling on this, and bearing in mind that I thought it was a pretty simple job. But the guy came along with the carrier. Again, this is the kindness of strangers. He had a 1999. I'd seen it when I'd walked around there, a Moto Guzzi in beautiful condition, and he said, it's a tube. We worked out it's a tube, of course. He says, you know, I'll be able to get somebody to repair that. So the next day, nothing's happening. When we've had some stupid message from the French breakdown folk saying whether click to see progress, and you clicked on it and nothing was happening. We've got to click, nothing's happening. And what I realise is I'm going to have to do this. If we're going to get going, you see, it's all very well you've got a car, you just go and hire another car. A motorcycle is very difficult to hire a motorcycle. You've got something like just over £1,000 in this policy. You can run through that quickly. You've got hotels and everything like that. It's good because it's nice to have that. So if I did not find a garage myself, now the people that lifted the motorcycle, he said he was going to make inquiries. Anyway, a year ago I had to get a tyre changed in France, in Calais, which was 60 miles away. I phoned that guy, he doesn't speak English, there was somebody there that did, and he would have taken it in and he would have repaired it. So now I had a garage, and I phoned the AA and said, look, it needs to go there. But then I went back to the people that had lifted the bike up, and they'd got hold of Harley Davidson, which was only 40 miles away, near Bologna, and they said they would do it. Now you're worried, is it going to go into the Harley Davidson garage? Is it going to take 3 weeks? But they couldn't get authority to transfer the bike to this place 40 miles away. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll pay for it and I'll claim it back. I phoned the AA and they said, yes, you could do that. But the girl, and she was doing her very, very best, she didn't have much English, and she told me it was going to be over €4,000. And of course I just believed that. I said, well, that's impossible. I said, look, just phone the French assistance and get permission to take it. At 4,000. What she must have meant was over 400. But I'm delighted that she said that, because it ruled it out, meant I didn't have to shell out 400, and God knows how long it'd take to get the money back. And she phoned them and she got permission. So this was not done. We had to, between us and the kindness of strangers, we got the Harley Davidson near Boulogne to agree to it. She managed to phone the French, because I'm sorry, but the French system is really slow. To agree the cost, didn't cost us a penny. We then travelled with them to the Harley Davidson. This is now 3:30. It's about an hour and a half away. So we travelled with them. They said, oh no, they say that they'll fix it that night. I didn't really think that. I thought we'll be taking a hotel or something like that. And when I phoned, they said the only way you're getting back on the road is because you're taking this action. So for all motorcyclists out there, do not think that your 5-star cover is going to help you if there's a breakdown. It'll help you, but the trip's coming to an end. So you've got to take the action yourself. And when I arrived at Harley Davidson, I think it was about 5:30. They close at 7, and they got it done. So I think that's their something that they pride themselves in the States, that if somebody's travelling, they drop everything, because you know what it's like. You book in a Harley Davidson garage for service, it'll be 3 weeks away. So they did it, and it was just the tube, and the bike was back on the road, and so therefore we were able to carry on. And any advice for these breakdown people? Tell the truth. I mean, it was the next day that they told me we really had a hope of getting this back on the road. And really, this was the end of the road trip. We'd had money to fly back or something. The bike would have taken weeks. And understand, because if you understand that, then you can do things whereby you can help them, and you can get your bike to a garage that will, if it's something fairly minor. And of course, the thing about it is, any mechanic could have done this. Any mechanic could have taken that back wheel off. I was seriously thinking about doing it myself, getting a tube, and doing it myself. But I didn't really have the tools to do that, and it's getting that tyre off the rim. I've never done that. But don't rely on the assistance. If you want to get going, you carry a certain amount of tools with you. Try and do it yourself. And if you don't actually have any insurance, you just have to rely on the kindness of strangers. And when you think of all these people that travel around the world and everything, they all state that. All around the world, it's absolutely magnificent to see how people help you when you're in trouble. And there's always a way. So we never quit. And it's the uncertainty that you have to handle, and we don't do much better job than anybody else on that, because you don't know when you're at the side of this road in a foreign country just what the heck, you can't speak the language, you don't know that it's going to work out correctly, but you just have to keep going. So anyway, we had a couple of days there, and it was a lovely place. Obviously it was just a couple of days getting this fixed on the phone for hours and hours, battery running out, etc. But here we are in, where is it, Maria? Épernay? Épernay. Very bad with names. Épernay, beautiful. The weather's stunning. It was 30 degrees yesterday. I forgot, of course, you've got all these winter clothes on, and I didn't really want to put them on the bike. I need to get more straps so I can carry things, and that's one of my tasks. The amount of sweat, it's unbelievable. Drank masses of water when we got here. But wonderful, and of course, looking back on it, it just adds
to the trip. So Maria, what's the trip been like so far?
Wonderful. Ups and downs, the chaos of travel, but you learn so much about yourself, and you don't have a diamond without pressure, so.
There you go. She says these things so well, does she not? Right, bye for now.